Alrighterbabber. Hello folks, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. We are we're going to have a little run around town still. We've got a fair few things to look at. First Fires we've done. Ondra's Gift, Heritage Hill. We're almost done with Brackenbury, not Blackenbury. We're going to have a little visit to the sanitarium. Oh, we were going to have a chat with this lady first. Ned Inn. Named characters. A woman stands in the shade of the garden, muttering to herself. She's fixated on the pages of a large and well-worn tome, seemingly oblivious to the blooming flowers and the cool, fragrant breeze. She only looks up when your shadow crosses her page. Do you mind? I'm rather busy. What are you so busy with? She snaps her book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death, but we still have a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. What do you mean about making them stick? She brushes a stray lock from her forehead. Souls power bodies and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spate of soul-related ailments, including the Hollowborn. But if we understood how to reattach souls, we could end Waidwen's legacy, maybe even conquer death. She scratches behind her ear. That's the theory anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all the research I need to put into practice. This is the problem with animancers now. We're going to go, what exactly do you need? Because XP, everything helps. There's a manuscript called The Theorems of Pandgrum. It contains research from Pandgrum's experiments on detached souls. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rumoured to have a copy in the Elder Archives. Pandgram's work is considered to be one of the more daring animancy texts, not something generally circulated among novices, nor easy to get a hold of. I wonder if we might have a peek at it. The theorems could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimda, the High Archivist, worships whale, which means she has some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge. And since she's not exactly a proponent of animancy, she tends to restrict the kinds of information that would be useful to me. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe she could be persuaded. You're welcome to try, but you wouldn't be the first. She sighs. Look at me spilling my troubles. It's kind of you to listen, but I should really get back to my work. Anything else? Yeah, we have questions about the theorems of Pandgrum. Such as? Tell me about it. Pandgrum was an animancer working in the Durwood. He had some interesting theories about essence and some rather innovative techniques for studying it. He was able to reattach souls to bodies after death, although he wasn't able to prevent his patients from degenerating. That's gotta be uncomfortable, surely. You know, if you're if you're terminally ill, the first thing you want is a new body. If, you can reattach the soul, take the soul out, stick it in another body. Anyway, he was controversial to say the least, but many are starting to realise that he was merely ahead of his time. What do you mean by degenerating? I mean zombies, man. Zombies. Nedin twists her hands together. Well, there seems to be a tiny problem with reattaching souls after death. The bodies will reanimate and may even retain memories and personality, but they develop a hunger for flesh. I said zombies, didn't I? Living soul-infused flesh. Without it, they start to devolve, decaying mentally and physically. If the process goes too far, which it eventually does, they become mindless corpses, attacking anything that moves. Fucking zombies, man! That's what I'm saying. We haven't figured out a way to avoid that. Shoot them in the head. That's how you get rid of it. That is more than an inconvenient side effect. You've reproduced an unnatural curse with little to show for it. Sounds like necromancy. Nonsense. Necromancy is magic. This is science. I would question that. She emphasizes the last word. This is science! Kick. Why doesn't Grimda lend you the books you need? The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rather protective of its books, especially the rarer ones, and Grimda in particular. She hates animancy, thinks it's dangerous. I don't see how you can run the greatest library in the Durwood and be so adverse to the spread of knowledge and research, but I've never understood these religious types. Aloth scowls at the Animancer. Some knowledge is best kept under lock and key. I'd like to know about the Hall of Revealed. No, we don't. What are the Elder Archives? That's behind that locked door in the hall. That's all I wanted to ask. Tell me about you. I'm an Animancer at the Sanitarium. Currently, I'm researching matters related to Wadewin's legacy. Yeah, we know about the legacy as well. Nice.
Hey.
Okay. So don't we have... Journal? Don't we have a quest to do something in the cemetery? Isn't it one of the main ones? No. Find the place of misery and madness. There was someone waiting there, a prisoner by choice. I will need to find the neighborhood. We're in the right neighborhood.
Hey.
So we need to find the prisoner by choice. Sanitarium. Sanitarium. Leave me be. Yes, you old buggers will know that one. Maybe some of you new buggers. Right. Let's find some named characters. Anybody? Werner? No, not Werner. Wrong button. Let's have a look at this end. Warden. An Animancer from the Republic's Bankello has requested a visit. The statue, just like our little stronghold. So we'll have a chat with the Warden in a minute. Are we allowed downstairs? Sometimes we get people in here trying to make trouble for the Animancers. We're not here to cause trouble for the Animancers. Let's have a look in the basement. Go and check out the basement. See what's down there. Lots of mental people, I guess. Mentally ill folks, I'm gonna guess. And because it's a fantasy world, it's probably like our Dark Ages, where sanitariums were just places of torture. But let's try it and see. Do you know what I'm going to do, though? Paranoia's going to kick in. We're going to do a quick save. Hello, people. Belasieg. What's this? This strange device seems to thrum with power. Are they using electricity by any chance? That kind of looks like a... could be a generator of some... I don't know. Talking rubbish.
Good day, stranger.
Good day, Belasieg. A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Ecossi, here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that I do not see the kith standing in front of me. What can I do? I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. What do you do? I'd like to know more about animancy. Well, let's look for an expert on awakenings. She laughs bitterly. That would be me. Though the lack of research subjects has made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer the Animance's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing to those whose souls have already awakened, but I need subjects, and most of the patients here are far too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. You're in luck. I have a volunteer. Do we? Is it me? She springs to the balls of her feet, beaming. Gellard, who is it? Aloth's lips curl into a frown. I don't know about this. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon? I jest. The Aidens are so uptight. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. Now they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her hands. She jests a lot. I'm guessing not a fan of this jesting malarkey. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Aloth by the shoulders and steers him to the couch. And try to relax, but don't try too hard. Then you will not be relaxing. Indeed, his eyes are humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. Sounds a bit like electrotherapy to me. The animancer fastens thick copper bands to Aloth's forehead and wrists. As she ratchets them tighter, his face twitches with suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knobs, dials and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with Adra lenses cut to different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, have they made a word up there, concavities? Does that exist as a word? By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. How exciting! I've never seen this sort of thing performed. Khan peers at the device with interest. It seems suitably complicated. Contemplative? Does this mean we'll get to talk to Ilsamir more? I like that lady. She raises a finger. But first, we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Sounds like a bit of a lie detector machine. Sagani pats his arm. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't hear any of it. Aloth squirms on the couch. Very well. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob. To begin, tell me something personal, something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in the Sithwood. He looks to you. His face is set in a frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension show through nevertheless. Talk about your parents. What do you remember? What do you remember about your home? As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the mists of his own memory. Belasiege doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are smoothing his essence, untangling its many threads. He closes his eyes. Comfortable, modest. Quiet when mother is away, which is most of the time. Quiet enough to hear the clink of glass on wood. This is when I know to be most careful. Father is good about hiding the bottles. Mother, when she is home, is good at pretending not to notice them. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she's around, he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I'm sweeping the kitchen, the next I'm sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at flecks of blood on the tile. His boots, glistening with fresh polish, thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach and I curl up to shield my vitals, but it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Maricho. Is she Italian? I have no idea. Belasiege furiously cranks the knobs along her scope. He's hypnotized himself with this old memory. You've got to bring him out of it. Quickly, I almost have it. Squeeze his hand. Everything is safe. It's just a memory, it's not real. Squeeze his hand, we're nice. You're safe, everything's fine. Aloth's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. He's ne'er safe when I hap upon him. Belasiege sucks a deep breath through her teeth. That's it! I'm seeing a shift in his essence. Something spreading and congealing. She glances at you over her scope. Keep talking, he seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voices high in ire. That warm molasses feeling that crips down your gut when crisis is nigh. Belfetto, we have the flares of a totally distinct essence. She jots shorthand notes onto the pages next to her and turns one clicking knob of her scope. Now, try to get the two of them talking. Aloth, tell Isilmir what she's doing. Aloth's face twists in fury. Stinking weed, worming parasite. He bursts into sudden laughter. Ye'd see the same to your own kindled twig when it betrays ye. Ida grins. Must be hard to avoid knowing there's a lady in your body the whole time, judging you. Good, yes, very good. She rests from her scribbling, only to make another adjustment to her scope. I can now see 2 separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the spaces that he leaves empty. She prompts you with a circling of her wrist, quill still in hand. Go on. What about this seeding space? What exactly are you taking from? Let's keep talking to Aloth. That's my theory at the moment. Aloth, what is this about ceding space to Isilmir? He grits his teeth painfully. I've given her nothing. She usurps me in my own body. And I lend him a pair too. Ye should ask what I did with that old man of his. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I breck in 3 places. Aloth's head jerks to the side. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. Now I was awakening, but now I'm stuck with ye, and I'm damned if I let your Ninian drag us both through the scupper. Ah, very good. She lowers her scope and consults her notes. I think I've finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Isilmir's essence through the exchange. She had a particularly high density index during the most heated portions of their argument, and her essence seems to localize more clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left rib cage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means that she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Aloth blinks back at you, and in the midst of his perturbation, you're not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. That's utter horseshit. Black bile, is it? They've certainly spat their share. Canna studies Aloth dubiously. It is a simpler explanation than I expected, all things considered. She glares at him. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation. Isilmir manifests when Aloth is in danger or under pressure. You're close. I think his appearances are related to potential sources of trouble. That's a bit psychiatric. Aloth's right, that's absurd. Isilmir obviously shows up when he feels threatened. I'm going to go diplomatic, I think. Go with the... yawn, excuse me. Going to go with number 2, you're close. Belisage carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Aloth. I suppose that could be true. She jots another note. I'll have to check this against other research. He removes the copper bands. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Belisage frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the pages. So Isilmir tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make those decisions. She did you a favour by dealing with your father. I think she's trying to help you stand up for yourself. You may not like her methods. Well, yeah. Yeah, that also seems true. It seems that Isilmir steps in when she determines that you're in danger. Yeah, you can't... Number 1, you can't let her make these decisions for you. My thoughts exactly. I'll have to be more careful about her from now on. I've got a lot to process, regardless. Thank you for your help, Gabrielle. He does not look at Belisage. She sets her notes on the desk and returns to her scope. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it has been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of Revua Fentre, Aloth. His grimace melts into a crooked smile. Aye, advancing the right-wise principles of animancy. Just what you've always wanted. As you turn to leave, you catch a darting movement out the corner of your eye. Belisage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aloth is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. Yeah, honest is probably right. Yeah, stoic. I think we might have to go honest, Aloth. Because I'm not, well, I kind of see your point, but, you know, a deal's a deal. A deal is a deal. He slides the papers back onto the desk, giving you a rueful look. I'm now going to help you explain this one, scholar boy. Yes, well, let's have a look. Two-sided. Two-sided. Find an expert. Right, what's next? Shooting on blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Okay, well, maybe we need to come back later. Oh, average adventure completed. Kendra did stuff. 872 experience. How much money? No idea. No idea. For 2 days, 1 hour. So we've only been about 24 hours-ish, if memory serves. So let's talk to you again. No? No, fair enough.
All right, then.
No, a deal's a deal, Aloth. A deal is a deal. What about you? Are you named, sir? I've lost me button.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea.
It's not that.
Which is not very quiet.
Modred. Like Mordred? Modred. An animancer scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, that happens a lot, doesn't it? Our shadows falling over scrolls. He looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation. Can I help you? He forces a polite smile. Looking for an expert on awakenings. I hear that Valian woman studies them. You should go talk to her instead. My area of focus, so we asked, what are you working on? My area of focus is witches. More specifically, how to cure them. What's a witch-t? I know it's not pronounced that way. It's going to be a witch, isn't it? They just moved the T. A hollowborn who received a transplanted animal soul during infancy. One of Animance's early efforts to cure the legacy, if not a successful one. He removes his spectacles and wipes his brow. They show signs of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood, but when they reach adolescence, they become aggressive, feral, but still victims in need of care. Transplanting animal souls into children seems like an odd solution. We Animancers were trying to do something about the crisis. Better than letting it swallow a generation of children. Well, maybe not if they go feral. He stares at a fixed point on the far wall, and despite the controversy, it only went so far because, at first, it seemed to work. People called it the salvation. Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings, of their families. He takes a slow breath. The complications don't begin until puberty. But that's when the incompatibilities between body and soul take shape. Children become violent, ravenous. Kind of like zombies by the sound of it. But we paid dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted down Animancers and burned down their homes, with them still inside, often as not. People took to calling it the cruel salvation, and many still loathe us for it. But we wanted to stop the legacy as much as anyone. The public begged for our help, and we did the best we could. I still don't know if that absolves us. And why do you study witches? He huffs. What kind of question is that? Just think of all the families that could be healed, the lives that could be restored. What could be more important? His face reddened, and then he turns away from you for a moment. He shakes his head. Animancy has an answer here. I know it. It's simply a matter of working it out. Everything's got an answer if you work it out hard enough. Anyway, I'm just looking around. Thanks. And be quick about it. Don't touch anything. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Let's head down this way. Let's have a little look down. Oh, hello. Couple of guards. Sanitarium guards. Who's in here? Nobody. The edges of the cage are dented and scored with claw marks. Have we been keeping werewolves? I maybe don't want to be looking at. Let's have a... It's not red. It's not like I have quick saved. Let's try it. No? What about here? No. Requires the cropper key. Okay, right, double time, back up the stairs. Boom, boom, boom. And we'll take a loading screen, and I think we will finish wandering around the sanitarium next time, folks, because we're almost hitting that sort of 20 to 25 minute mark. So we'll pause it there. and we shall continue our sanitarium search next time. Until then, folks, bye bye for now.